Hey everyone, it has been a long time coming, but Prime Comments has returned, and I am so happy to be doing it again. It's been over a month. I apologize for the absence of this feature. There's been a lot of stuff happening over the past month in regards to planning for E3, so with all of that happening, I decided to kind of take a hiatus from this weekly program. It is back now. Hopefully it'll be here every single week moving forward. As always, Prime Comments is a series where we look back at the prior week of comments. We pick out 4 of them, typically from 4 different videos, and I respond to them. And I warned the very last comment I respond to gets a bit personal. But I almost made the entire Prime Comments about it, actually. But you know what? I didn't want to just focus on that. So let's get right into your comments from this past week. The first comment comes from Koopa Troopa Poopa, who commented on our video where the Zelda team is looking for a level designer and the Splatoon 2 hack makes Octolines playable. It was a Prime News episode, and here's what he had to say. Twitch already beat Super Mario Odyssey, and it took them a little over a month. I watched almost all of it, and it was painful, but fun to watch. The thing about Breath of the Wild is that it's too easy to start a new save file. So trolls pretty much do just that. It has happened several times already, messing up everyone's progress. Anyways, I think this game is too complex, but Super Mario Odyssey was also really complex, so we'll see what happens. And he's talking about a story we covered in that Prime News episode about how Twitch is trying to beat Breath of the Wild. And yeah, isn't it crazy how well, since Twitch Plays Pokemon happened, that Dark Souls was beaten, Super Mario Odyssey was beaten. I have no doubt the Twitch community is probably going to beat Breath of the Wild someday. I just don't know how long it's going to take. That save file thing, with trolls and everything, kind of is off-putting. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's just an amazing thing when a community comes together to accomplish something like this, especially with how hard it is. But, I mean, we'll see. As of today, I still don't think they've gotten off the Great Plateau, but you know what? I think I saw them beat 2 shrines the other day, so we'll see what happens. Moving on, our next comment comes from the new rumor unveils Crash Bandicoot and Spyro for Super Smash Bros. For Switch, and Token Geek had this to say. This is based on the rumor you covered the other day. Though I want them in, it isn't a rumor that has much of a foundation at this point. So the source of this rumor was Etika, who put up some tweets saying that he had 3 independent, completely separate sources for this. And some people were saying that one of his sources was the person that had the initial E3 leak. For those who don't know what that is, there was a leak that came out days earlier talking about how they were going to reveal Switches Online on May 7th. They were going to get rid of Virtual Console, replace it with something called Nintendo Classics. And then the entire E3 lineup and a whole bunch of stuff. And some people have said that, the guy that posted on GameFAQs said that he just made it up. Then again, he wasn't the source of it. It actually came from an anonymous post on 4chan. So, I mean, who really knows with that? But that does not appear to be the same person that Etika heard from. Etika did hear from a person that said that they would reveal Switches Online on May 7th, but it was a different person than Lazzy Man from GameFAQs. So that all being considered, plus his 2 other sources, I just wanted to point out that this Smash rumor actually stands on its own, independent of the E3 rumors. It was a new rumor at that time, still stands. Etika hasn't backed down yet, so we'll have to just wait and see what happens. Obviously, I would love to see Crash and Spyro in there, and in that video, a lot of people commented about how, man, Smash is kind of like becoming this collab of everything. You get Mega Man and Pac-Man and Mario, like all in the same game. You throw Crash in, which used to be the PlayStation mascot, or many people viewed it as that. It's use Sonic in there, I don't know. Things are getting a little bit crazy around the Smash rumors and E3, but yeah, it's a completely independent rumor, at least based on the research I was able to do into it. Moving on, our next comment comes from the It's Official, Nintendo has killed Virtual Console for Good news video, and Taylor Bone had this to say. I'm bummed. I've never owned a Nintendo system that had the Virtual Console on it. So that was part of the reason I bought a Switch. It wasn't a big part of why I bought it, but part of the reason. Oh well, maybe we'll get the games down the line. I hope so. So a couple of things to approach in here. I don't know why anyone would buy a Switch for Virtual Console when Reggie and Nintendo have avoided talking about Virtual Console this entire time. They've been like, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, maybe we'll talk in a future date. So it's a weird reason to buy it. And if you really care about Virtual Console, Wii U has it for like $125, $200. 3DS has it. Wii, although I think the Wii shop's been shut down. So there's still ways to enjoy it. And they are giving us 20 NES Classic games with the with the online system, and they're supposed to be adding more over time. We'll see if that evolves into a new Virtual Console type system or it's subscription based. But yeah, I mean, you guys let me know what you think about all of that. I'm sorry that you're bummed that Virtual Console's not coming. Virtual Console's never been something I overly cared that much about. But I do view it as a value add for certain systems like Wii U. So I hope that it's not gone for good. I know I said in the video title it was gone for good. The Virtual Console in name is gone for good. The idea of delivering classic games might not be. So we'll just have to wait and see. Moving on. I want to warn before this last comment that it's this one hit me deep. But I wanted to address it because you'll see in a moment. This last comment comes from the Nintendo Prime versus Player Essence debate. Could Nintendo become like EA? Yes, folks, we're going to take a comment from that whole mess. But here we go. This comes from someone who responded directly to me in the comments after the fact, called Scored DWEBB24. And they said this. Nintendo Prime, you know, I've never commented on a video before until 2 nights ago. I watched a video made by you and made a response and felt bad and deleted the comment. And now I have to repost this. Not only will I never watch a video by this channel again, I will never subscribe to this channel. Every time I see your name, I will add it to uninterested. You create a channel to ride the Nintendo high, get enough subscribers, and then start talking trash every other video on Nintendo. You're nothing more than a hypocrite, and I feel sorry for anyone who funded your sorry-ass trip to E3, because you do not deserve to even make an appearance. You literally contradicted yourself 100% of this entire video. Keep in mind, Nintendo doesn't care whatsoever how you feel, sir. For anyone reading this entire video is basically an overweight, cheap American who probably hasn't worked a day in his life to do anything, gets mad that Nintendo doesn't announce what he wants them to announce, and or do, and makes a video trying to convince everyone to agree to his opinion. In the end, this is nothing but clickbait with a very, very, very fat, lazy human being saying, Nintendo isn't doing what I want, so now they're this and now they're that. My one question to you is, how old are you again? Act your fucking age. Or grow the hell up. This channel is absolute bullshit. And I'm not even a Nintendo fanboy. And this individual is so uneducated, it kills me that he makes money off of doing this for a living. It disgusts me more than having to watch his triple chin talk. The newfound respect for OJ, and even more disgust over Nate. You are truly a legitimate dumbass, and I truly, truly hope with the bottom of my soul you fall. Find your true calling in life, because this is not it. First off, triple chin. Yeah, this obviously, this is a tough one for me to talk about because there is so many accusations made in here because someone disagreed with my my stance on this. And to be fair, a lot of you viewers out there disagree with my stance on Nintendo becoming EA. And by the way, I never ever said that Nintendo is becoming EA, but that they could, and that the video was essentially me criticizing some of the current DLC practices. However, even though a lot of you disliked and disagreed, and some of you that watched the debate disagreed with me, a lot of you disagreed with me, to be fair, none of you stooped to the level of this. This is the only person to try to strike me this low below the belt. I mean, think of the accusations they made. Outside of you're fat, I mean, okay, I'm fat, but that I'm a cheap-ass, lazy American. What does that even mean? That I want things cheaper Everybody wants things cheaper, but my argument for things being cheaper was content driven, right? Like, I felt that the Mario Kart 8 DLC was actually better and more valuable than the totality of the Smash DLC. Now, you might disagree with that, but I feel like the value you got for $16 to $20 was better than the value you got in the $60 combined total Smash DLC. But, I mean, that's my opinion, and it's okay to disagree with that, but I wasn't arguing that, that I'm cheap. I mean, that's a really strange argument. I was talking about fair consumer valuations. It had nothing to do with the amount of money I make and my willingness to spend it. I mean, do you want me to show you everything I own? I mean, does what I own and the money I spend somehow validate that I'm not a cheapskate or something? I'm not exactly sure why anyone that when I'm arguing for a pro-consumer price point, I don't know why that suddenly comes up. And there's other things in here. Obviously, all the swearing and all that stuff just shows how upset they were. But I mean, I just don't understand it. I really don't understand what I've done to even get this kind of hate. I understand that there's people who dislike me. There's people who might think I'm disingenuous or that I'm not worth their time or worth the money. But like when you talk about, you feel sorry for anyone who funded my sorry ass trip to E3 because I do not deserve to even make an appearance. Who are you to judge who deserves to go to E3? E3 is open to the public. For $250, any one of you guys watching can go to E3. Reality is there's other costs you have to consider: the flight, the hotel, food, transportation, all the stuff that you have to consider in addition to that. But I didn't want to ask fans to help me go to E3. I didn't want to go to E3 this year. Not because I don't just want to go, but because for me personally, it's not financially possible. And you know what happened? The fan base encouraged me to raise funds. And I did it under the guise that I was probably going to end up spending the money on equipment because I didn't think we would come anywhere near what I thought was a crazy ask of $3,500 because that's how much it costs to send two of us. And even then, we're already over budget, and I'm already trying to work these. I think I have this week alone. I have 4 side jobs I'm doing to try to make sure I can eat when I'm on this trip, and like to talk about how I don't deserve to go. I guess that's not up to you, is it? The people that think I deserve to go are the people that are paying for me to go. So it doesn't really matter if you don't think I deserve to go because our community that came in huge, with huge amounts of money to support me going, they wanted me to go. Even after I told them that I thought it was an impossibility, they didn't care. They're like, you know what? We love your content so much. We want to see what kind of content you can make at E3. So we feel you are worth paying the money to go. We want you to go, so we will cover a vast majority of the funds for you to go. So you can feel like I don't deserve it. But the people who paid it don't feel that way. So like when you talk about, you feel sorry for anyone who funded, what are you feeling sorry for? I doubt just because of that one video I made, they suddenly are like, yeah, we don't want you going to E3. Because the people that funded me, they're okay disagreeing with me. They don't look at one video and one debate about that video and be like, yeah, you know what, he's a cheap-ass, lazy American. Fuck this guy. Like, no, like that's such a petty way of viewing things. Now, moving on, you said I literally contradicted myself 100% of this entire video. You repeated yourself there. But you also didn't say anything that I actually contradicted. Do you know what a contradiction is? I'm not really sure you do. You can fully agree with OJ's side of the debate, and I'm totally okay with that because OJ is coming from of sound mind. He made good points. I said that in the debate even. I gave OJ credit. I don't know if it was a humble move on my part, but I admitted he made good points. That doesn't mean that I don't feel like I made good points. It just means that we fundamentally disagree because we were coming at it from 2 different angles, right? OJ was coming from it of, hell no, Nintendo's not even close to shouldn't even be in the same sentence as EA, is essentially what he had a bunch of numbers to back it up. And my point was, I don't like some of Nintendo's current DLC practices. I think they're a little bit anti-consumer, and we're just kind of sort of applauding it and sweeping it under the rug when we do disagree. And then I'm worried about that transitioning into something that could be as bad as EA. I never said that Nintendo is as bad as EA. But, I mean, I was talking about, basically, here's my criticism of their current practices, and I'm scared that if we don't, like, chime up about this is, like, CEA, see how bad they are? I'm afraid Nintendo could get to that level. And I know there's steps along the way, as OJ pointed out. But, you know, and OJ's main point was that, you know, we're not to a point that we should be discussing EA. We should be discussing, like, what's the next, like, worst tier than you know, Nintendo for these kind of practices. Is it something like Ubisoft, or are we talking about even a company below that? You know, is it an Insomniac or something like that? And there's a lot of factors to determine. And you know, OJ's point was that we shouldn't be looking at EA. We should be looking at, you know, if you want to have this conversation, let's have it with a company that's just doing things a little bit worse than Nintendo. And then go from there. That was kind of his general gist, and he like I said, he made good points. It doesn't change how I feel though. So it's just really weird that you talked about how I contradicted myself. Where's the contradiction? You didn't point any out. You said I 100% contradicted myself the entire video. But where? Where did I contradict myself? I actually implore you, I hope you're watching this Prime Comments, and you go down in the comments and you let me know where I contradicted myself. Of course, based on what you said here, you're never watching another one of my videos again. So, you know, there's that. But even then, that comment on its own, I'm okay with, right? I'm cool if you disagree with me and you think I'm bad and you don't think I deserve to go to E3. Like, all of that's fine. What I don't like is the following stuff you said. This should just not be something a human being says to another human being. And this is beyond troll level, because trolls, you can obviously tell. You put a lot of thought into this post. You even admitted that you posted it once before but then deleted it because you felt bad. You should feel bad. And I'm not saying that because I think you're a shitty person. I'm saying I don't know what kind of person thinks they could say the following line: that I'm an overweight, cheap American who probably hasn't worked a day in his life to do anything, gets mad that Nintendo doesn't announce what he wants them to announce, and makes a video trying to convince everyone to agree with his opinion, blah, 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 blah. You're disgusted over me. I'm truly a legitimate dumbass. You know, you hope from the bottom of my soul that I fail at what I'm doing. You talk about, that this channel's absolute bullshit. That you're not a Nintendo fanboy, but even so, that I'm completely uneducated. I mean, you have no basis for any of this. The only thing you outside of the fat comment, which is a factual truth, I guess for some reason me being fat bothers you. Are you fat? Are you the one dealing with it? Is it hard for you to watch someone who's fat? Like, then why were you watching my videos in the first place? But setting it aside, like, I get the fat remarks all the time. I get, like, being the overweight stuff, but, like, a cheap American who hasn't worked a day in his life. I've been working every single day since I was 15. I've been working since before I was legally allowed to work. I had to get a worker's permit that my parents signed off for the day I turned 15 so I could start a job at Kmart back then. Like, I've been working. Today, I technically have, I guess, quote-unquote, 3 jobs. 2 of them I only count as actual jobs. The third is YouTube. And the reason I don't call YouTube a job isn't because I don't make money from it. I mean, in the literal sense, like when people ask what I do, for a living, I'll say YouTube. But YouTube is a passion. It's a love. I enjoy this. So I'm already working 2 jobs on the side of this. And I have to do that because I'm supporting a family of 5, all on my income. So it's like, but again, I've never worked a day in my life, apparently, because I'm fat and American, apparently. I'm a fat American. Yeah, I did this office, this house, this stuff. I didn't buy for any of that. How am I paying for all this? I've been a YouTuber for a year. So he talked about, act my age. I'm going to be 32. Well, how is a 32-year-old supposed to act? I mean, seriously, honestly, tell me. I'm a 32-year-old parent of 3 who helps out in the community, runs a YouTube channel, works his butt off, working 2-3 jobs at a time, working extra jobs this week to kind of help out my YouTube channel because I don't quite have enough money right now. And I am lazy. I mean, there might be some things in life I'm lazy at, maybe, not cooking as healthy meals as I should. You can argue maybe that's lazy, leading to me being overweight. Not working out as much as I should, again, helping lead to me being overweight. You can argue that maybe those aspects of my life are lazy, but overall, I bust my ass, man. I'm raising a family. Dude, I have a serious question. What's your name? Score DWEBB24. Do you know what it's like to raise a family? I don't mean being raised up in a family yourself. I mean being a parent. Even if it's just of a single child. Do you know how hard it is? How the biggest challenge any adult can face in life. Forget cancer. Forget, all the terrible diseases that people have to overcome. Parenting is one of the hardest things to do because it's not about your life. It's about somebody else's. See, when you're diagnosed with cancer or something like that, it's a lot to go through. And it's hard for me to even, I've had some family members go through cancer bouts, and it's hard. But I guess it gets worse when you're a parent who has cancer, right? Like being a parent, you are helping raise someone. Much of the way that child is going to behave as an adult is because of how you as a parent raise them. And I think, when you talk about how I was acting, you're talking about the passionate outburst, right? But I hope I raise my children to be passionate about something they believe in. Maybe it's politics. Maybe it's religion. Maybe it's video games. Maybe it's, mathematics or science. Like, have you seen the debates that happen in the science community? Have you seen the political debates? Like, what happened in this is nothing compared to what happens in those. And these are by 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old people. But I was not acting my age at 32 because I'm passionate about my what I hope to make my career someday. I just don't know how someone can look at that debate, and even if you think I'm an idiot and a dumbass and all this stuff, come across as calling me lazy, calling me a cheapskate fat American, calling me claiming that I've never worked a day in my life. Like, what, do you want to see my resume or something, man? Do you want to see you want me to email you my grades from college? That I'm uneducated. Literally, I'm halfway through a degree in college, but I'm uneducated. I don't know anything about the video game industry, as some people said. Yeah, because I totally know absolutely nothing, right? You guys watching this now, I know nothing about Nintendo. I know nothing about Zelda. I know nothing about anything, right? I haven't been a gamer for 28 years in this industry. I haven't been covering Nintendo for 12 years. None of that has happened, right? The bottom line is, he ends with talking to me that it disgusts me more than having to watch this triple chin talk. And that's and he's talking about the point that it kills me that I make money off of doing this for a living. This doesn't literally kill you, dude. If you're going to talk a figurative speech, don't talk about how you disagreeing with something I have to say literally kills you. It's an opinion, dude. It's an opinion. Obviously, this got to me, and this ended up being a majority of prime comments today. But take this as an example, community, that even if I have a debate in the future with someone else and I destroy them, I don't want you guys going and saying this kind of vitriol to them. I wish I had the ability to ignore the haters and that I could just, look at this comment as a throwaway comment. It's just one person, right? There's much more of you guys that are willing to talk about, positive things about me than this one guy talking negative. But it always seems to be the negative that stands out the most, right? And I think that's why this person talked about earlier about how, I built up a following just so I could bash Nintendo. And it's like, I've been critical of Nintendo since I started building a following. This isn't a new thing, right? Like those of you who have followed my channel for the past year, I was critical of Nintendo a year ago. I was critical of Nintendo before Switch came out. I was critical of Nintendo 10 years ago at Zelda Informer. I was critical of it 12 years ago at Zelda Domain. I've been critical of Nintendo this entire time. This isn't new. Maybe I haven't dove deep into this specific aspect of criticism for Nintendo, but Nintendo wasn't always doing DLC, right? So, I didn't have a reason to. And when I was running a Zelda site, the only DLC I had to worry about back then was, Hyrule Warriors at the time? So, and even then, Hyrule Warriors isn't really perfect. I liked what they did with the DLC for the Wii U version. Then the 3DS version came out and just borked, kind of screwed over the Wii U owners. You need to go buy the 3DS version now if you want all the content, because we're not even going to give you the ability to purchase the Linkle content. But, oh man, this stuff sucks. I hate comments like this. Don't be like this guy. That's really the advice I have for you guys today, because Unfortunately, these kind of comments always stand out to me more than the dozens or hundreds of positive comments there might be. I hate that, man. It's always that one commenter that tries to drag me down. Anyways, folks, I'm Nathaniel Ruffledance from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, you know what to do. And if you dislike the video, hit that dislike button, subscribe for more content, and man, it feels good to be back doing Prime comments. I'll catch you guys with the Nintendo Prime podcast tomorrow morning. Road to E3, Episode 2. Peace.